Before a World Cup begins, the most important match is already being decided, not on a pitch, in a spreadsheet. How a nation is seeded for the group draw determines which opponents they face. A top seed can avoid the strongest rivals until the knockout stages. A low seed can be placed in a group with 2 or 3 powerhouses and face elimination before the tournament has barely started. The seedings come from the FIFA World Rankings. And the FIFA World Rankings are one of the most debated, criticized, and quietly influential systems in world football. Here is how it works, and why it generates so much argument. Every international match earns a nation points. The number of points earned from any single match depends on 3 factors: the result, the importance of the match, and the strength of the opponent. The result is straightforward. A win earns more points than a draw. A draw earns more than a loss. The importance of the match is where it gets complicated. FIFA assigns multipliers based on match type. A World Cup final has the highest multiplier. A World Cup group match is slightly lower. A Continental Championship, the Euros, the Copa America is lower still. A qualification match is lower again. A friendly has the lowest multiplier of all. This means that beating Germany in a World Cup qualifier earns significantly more points than beating Germany in a friendly. 2 teams that play identical football, producing identical results, can diverge sharply in the rankings depending on the types of matches they play. The strength of the opponent is calculated from the opponent's own ranking. Beating the number 1 ranked nation earns more points than beating the number 50 ranked nation. Losing to the number 1 earns fewer negative points than losing to the number 50, because losing to a weaker opponent is treated as more damaging. This element is broadly ELO-inspired. Chess uses a similar system. So does competitive climbing and several other sports. The core logic is that your results should be weighted by the quality of the competition you face. The points from any match remain in the rankings for 4 years, then expire. This means the rankings at any given moment reflect a nation's results across 4 years of international football, not just the last 6 months. That time window is one of the most criticized features of the system. A nation that had an excellent World Cup cycle 4 years ago and has since declined still carries those points. A nation that has dramatically improved in the last 12 months is still partially weighted down by poorer results from years earlier. The rankings describe a 4-year average, not a current snapshot, which is not always what a tournament seeding should reflect. There are also structural problems with the multipliers. European and South American nations play high multiplier competitive fixtures routinely, qualification rounds, continental championships, and Nations League matches. Nations from smaller confederations play fewer high multiplier matches, simply because their confederation doesn't run equivalent competitive tournaments. 2 nations of similar quality can diverge significantly in the rankings purely because one plays in UEFA and one plays in CAF. The Faroe Islands, for example, have a genuine and deserved ranking improvement in recent years, having beaten well-ranked opponents in competitive European qualifying. But a comparable improvement by an Oceanian nation would be harder to achieve, because Oceania has fewer high multiplier competitive matches to earn points from. Critics argue the system effectively codifies a structural advantage for European and South American nations, not because those nations are necessarily better at football, but because their confederation structures give them more opportunities to earn the points. The formula. Rewards. FIFA has revised the ranking formula multiple times, most significantly in 2018, when it moved from an averaging system to an ELO-based model. The 2018 revision was widely considered an improvement. The new formula is more mathematically coherent, weights results more sensibly, and correlates better with actual match outcomes. But no ranking system is neutral. Every formula reflects a set of assumptions about what matters. FIFA's current assumptions say that a win in a high-stakes competitive match against a strong opponent is worth more than a win in a friendly against a weak one. Most people would agree with that in principle. The disagreement is in the details of how that principle is applied across 6 continents, dozens of competition structures, and over 200 national teams. The number that appears next to your nation in the rankings is the result of that argument, frozen in a spreadsheet. Now you know.